there's no need for a tune-up. You know, in November it's going to be a year. You know, how many champions defend their title once a year? There's a lot of fighters that fight once a year. Nobody says, oh, he's been off or he's coming off, you know, a long layoff or he needs a tune-up. No, they go fight the best in the divisions. You know, there's no difference from Vergil. He fought last December, so we're going after Boots. That's the fight we're going after.
Robert Garcia isn't backing down. Vergil Ortiz doesn't need a tune-up before facing Jaron Boots Ennis. He believes Ortiz is ready to go straight into one of the biggest fights at 154 pounds, and he's predicting nothing less than a knockout.
When Sayas was able to land and hurt Boots, I think it was, what, the third round? Everybody looked at me like, your boy will knock him out. Your boy will knock him out. But then, he came back and did his job and took care of business. You know, that also says a lot about a fighter. Boots is a warrior, but I definitely know Vergil will hurt him.
Yeah, that's something you don't see it going 12 rounds.
It won't go 12 rounds.
Wow.
Sergio Mora views the latest progress as a positive step, but not the finish line. He believes Ortiz may still need one more performance before a fight with Boots returns to the forefront. For Mora, every setback has made the long-awaited matchup harder to deliver at the right moment.
So Vergil needs to remind people again, and guess what that means? He's gonna have to fight one more fight before we get the Boots fight. This is what this hiatus, this legal hiatus caused. And this is why boxing can never really strike when the iron is hot.
As the debate continues, Chris Mannix insists an Ortiz versus Boots fight should take priority over every other option at 154 pounds. He argues that the division offers few meaningful alternatives, especially with other leading names tied up elsewhere. For Mannix, the demand for this matchup has only grown, making it the fight boxing should be pushing to make next.
There's no market for anyone but Boots next, because there's no other options. Like, if Vergil doesn't fight Boots, Boots is probably going to fight Josh Kelly in a title unification fight, which is a very easy fight to make for Matchroom. Sebastian Fundora is penciled in for a title defense sometime in the fall. First fight of his PBC on DAZN contract. He's not going to be available the rest of this year. There's nobody else, Sergio, in the 154-pound rankings that I care about. Like, unless you can give me a name that you think is a marketable, good, solid fight for Vergil Ortiz, I want to see this fight next. Josh Kelly, respectfully, you can wait your turn. Sebastian Fundora, you got something else coming up. The boxing world wants to see Boots versus Vergil. They wanted to see it with no belts on the line. They want to see it more with 2 belts on the line. Needs to happen next.
From another perspective, Teddy Atlas believes Ortiz has developed into a more complete fighter than many initially realized. He credits a recent performance with revealing Ortiz's movement, adaptability, and ability to box effectively, rather than relying solely on pressure. For Atlas, that added dimension could become a major factor in a future showdown with Boots.
I say this, Vergil showed me a few fights ago that he had a dimension I didn't know he had. When he was just, going through guys, knocking them out with body shots, sinking and destroying. I don't think I knew or anyone knew that he had the ability to use his legs and box and do some boxing. He showed me that dimension. He showed me that dimension in that fight that some people thought he lost. First fight that he got tested. We didn't get a knockout.
Meanwhile, Robert Garcia sees no reason to delay an Ortiz versus Boots showdown. He argues that Ortiz is fully prepared for the challenge and has the firepower to change the fight with a single opening. For Garcia, waiting any longer only postpones one of the division's biggest matchups.
Somewhere on there.
Does it make sense for Vergil to come straight into an Ennis fight or take a tune-up? How would you see it as his trainer? What would you recommend?
No problem. We would do it. Look, I know Eddie mentioned something about maybe Vergil needs or is going to want a comeback fight. No, that's not the case. Maybe that's what he wants for Boots. Maybe that's why he's trying to push that on us to try to get Boots something else before that. But no, we'll go straight into that fight. I think if Vergil is able to, fight Boots and we were able to get those punches, I think it's over. I think Vergil is not going to hold back. Vergil has great, insane power at 154. So I think Vergil will finish him.
On the other hand, Roy Jones Jr. believes the biggest unanswered question surrounding Boots is how he'll respond if he's forced to absorb a truly significant shot. While praising Boots' complete skill set and overall talent, he argues that aspect of his game remains largely untested at the highest level. For Jones, that unknown could become one of the most intriguing storylines in a potential clash with Ortiz.
We haven't seen Boots in against a guy that has touched him good enough to really test his chin. So we don't. That's the only thing we don't know about him yet. We don't know if he can take the real punch yet because we haven't seen it. But as far as the skill goes, he got everything. And that fight could be a very difficult fight because he has everything. And when a guy is talented and has the skill level that Boots has, anything can happen, but don't get it wrong.
From Boots' corner, Boots Ennis argues that his son's versatility is what separates him from the rest of the division. He believes Boots possesses the technical foundation to succeed in every phase of a fight, whether controlling the action at range or working effectively on the inside. For Boots, that complete skill set makes him a difficult puzzle for any opponent, including Ortiz.
Fundamentals. He got all the fundamentals. He got everything. He can fight you inside, fight you outside. You know what I mean? He can do whatever he want to do. So, I mean, he got everything.
Adding to that, Boots Ennis expects Boots' power to make the difference in a potential showdown with Ortiz. He believes Ortiz's aggressive approach could create the openings Boots needs to land his most effective shots. For Boots, that combination of timing and punching power gives Boots the edge if the fight is made.
Yeah. You think your son stops Vergil Ortiz?
Do I think he stopped? If Vergil come in with that shit he was doing with what's his name? Erickson Lugan. Yeah. Oh yeah, he gonna run right into something. Remember, Vergil can punch, but Boots can punch too.
Then Troy Isley gives Ennis the edge over Ortiz, while acknowledging the fight carries real danger. He believes Ennis has the tools to impose his game despite Ortiz's strengths, but warns that any lapse in defensive awareness could quickly change the momentum. In Isley's view, avoiding unnecessary exchanges will be the key to victory.
Fight, I think he beats Vergil. I think Fundora's a great fight. He can beat Fundora, but I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think he catches Vergil. Honestly, I think Vergil lost to Bobachek? I thought Bobachek beat Vergil, but I mean Vergil's a great fighter. He ain't no slouch. He's still. I feel like it's still 50-50. I feel like just the size don't really affect Boots. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Boots should still be able to do his thing against Vergil. He just can't get caught.
Yeah.
I feel like his footwork. I feel like he got power. I feel like his speed better, and I feel like his defense better. I feel like he just can't get caught by Vergil. But I feel like other than that, like everything else is better.
Tim Bradley passionately declares that boxing has officially entered a new era completely dominated by Jaron's electric talent. He feels the rising superstar is the only fighter alive capable of taking over the entire sport by storm with his sheer entertainment value.
Want those belts. This is Boots' era right now, man. This is Boots' era. If one guy can take the sport by storm, it's Boots Ennis. He can take the sport by storm. He can. He's entertaining people. He is so entertaining. Like, seriously.
The former champion warns that Sebastian Fundora possesses the specific physical attributes to give Jaron serious trouble. He notes that the giant's massive reach and high-volume punching make him a uniquely difficult puzzle for anyone trying to take his crown.
A guy that I feel that could give Boots a run from his money. He could. And I only say that because of his attributes. Not because of his boxing skills. It's because of his attributes. That's why. This guy has, and it's Sebastian Fundora. You guys know who he is. He's a southpaw too, right? He has range. He has volume. He has punching power as well. Okay? He knows how to keep his distance.
Turning to the stylistic matchup, Terrence Crawford believes Ennis will need to be far more disciplined against Ortiz than he has been in some of his previous fights. He warns that Ennis's willingness to trade shots and occasional defensive lapses could be heavily punished by a finisher like Ortiz. Although Ennis has been able to overcome those mistakes in the past, Crawford believes that approach will become increasingly risky against elite opposition.
Like he did the last time, Ortiz gonna finish him.
Wow.
So he gotta tighten up his defense.
10 steps behind you, right?
You gotta tighten up his defense. He gotta stop exchanging. I know he's faster than most. He's more explosive than most, but at the same time, he's shown in the past that he can get careless and that he's going out there just to fight, you know. And I don't think when you get higher and higher, that's gonna be enough.
Likewise, Regis Prograis gives Ennis the technical edge, but warns that Ortiz's relentless mentality could change the fight's complexion. He believes Ennis is the more polished boxer, yet cautions that allowing the contest to become a physical battle would favor Ortiz's strengths. In Prograis' view, controlling the pace could be the key to the outcome.
Right now, Vergil's looking, he's just looking strong. You know, you just know, I mean, Of course, skills do pay the bills, and I think Boots has really, really good skills, but Vergil is a monster. He's just a dog, you know. Sometimes, at the end of the day, like, this boxing, but sometimes it is a fight. You know, if Boots turns that into a fight like that, and sometimes, well, not Boots, if Vergil turns into a fight, you know, sometimes I think that he might come out victorious.
From a technical standpoint, Coach Breadman considers Ortiz the most difficult opponent Ennis could face. He believes the matchup is challenging because Ortiz's efficient offensive approach is well suited to exploiting the type of exchanges Ennis frequently engages in. Although he acknowledges Ennis's athletic advantages, Breadman feels Ortiz has the tools to consistently make him uncomfortable throughout the fight.
Stylistically, to me, the hardest fight for Boots is Vergil Ortiz. That's my honest opinion. Vergil Ortiz. Boots got them long, kind of like gangly arms, right? And sometimes he load up a little bit, and Vergil Ortiz punch short and compact, right in the mid-range on the inside, right where Boots like it. And in exchanges, Vergil Ortiz, I don't think he's as fast as Boots for like combinations of punches, but I do think that if Boots is throwing single shots, that Vergil's short, compact punches can get there. Because one thing Vergil don't play like Boots.
Offering another viewpoint, Sean Zittel believes Boots has the style to trouble Ortiz, despite many viewing Ortiz as the favorite. He argues that Boots' movement and ability to create offense while remaining elusive could present challenges Ortiz has struggled to solve in the past. For Zittel, those stylistic advantages could ultimately tip the matchup in Boots' favor.
You know, it's one thing that makes me think Ennis does win that fight, even though Ortiz right now on paper is the favorite. He's been at 54 and all. When you look at how Madrimov's awkwardness and his movement in that fight made it hard for Ortiz to get off until later in the fight, Ennis can implement the same things but actually be hitting him while he's doing it.
Meanwhile, Sean Zittel expects an Ortiz versus Boots showdown to deliver non-stop action from the opening bell. He believes Ortiz's aggressive approach and willingness to engage would force the fight into a high-tempo battle rather than a tactical chess match. For Zittel, that contrast in styles is what makes the matchup so compelling.
He's not known for his velocity, but he does bring really good punching velocity, aka speed, and he's an incredible combination puncher. And he's not going to make the mistake of what you're saying of trying to outbox Vergil or Jaron Ennis. He's going to make it a firefight and go blow for blow. And oh my God, on paper, what a fight that should play out to be, and he has more firepower.
Building on that point, Greg Hackett is convinced Boots would have the upper hand if the long-discussed matchup finally comes together. He argues that Boots has already shown enough to prove he's operating at a level Ortiz would struggle to match. For Hackett, that gap makes Boots the clear favorite in a potential showdown.
Vergil and his whole team is foolish. They foolish. I'm gonna tell you why. Because that fight was supposed to happen before the kid Xander got in there, right? Now, they see him go up in there with Xander and him so-called be hurt in the third round, and now everybody sees something. I guess y'all didn't see the part where the guy, got beat to submission in the 7th round. Here's the thing though, Xander's a better fighter than Vergil. Vergil's easy. Vergil's gonna get his beat bad. I'm telling you, Boots is gonna torture him. Because you know why? It's not even because of the styles. It's because all the you did in Texas. You act like you was gonna fight me, and then you got out the ring and you said that Earl Spence was your dream fight. He's full of shit. Boots is gonna crush him, bro. I'm telling you, it's gonna get bad for. I hope that fight happens. Vergil is gonna get a rude awakening. It's gonna get bad for Vergil.
Looking at the tactical side, Showbiz believes Boots should stick to the aggressive approach that has brought him success in recent fights. He argues that giving Ortiz too much ground could allow him to build momentum and dictate the exchanges. For Showbiz, the right game plan could be just as important as the talent both fighters bring into the ring.
My take was the way Boots fights, and he's been fighting against Xander Zayas and how he's been fighting, okay? Against Lemos, that's how he should fight Ortiz. If he tries to fight being too slick and going backwards, Ortiz may be able to get him against the ropes, and he may be able to punish him against the ropes.
Adding to that, Showbiz believes Boots' game plan will be just as important as his physical advantages. He argues that allowing Ortiz to fight at a comfortable pace would only increase the danger as the rounds unfold. Instead, he expects Boots to rely on ring control and smart tactical decisions to stay in command. For Showbiz, that approach offers the clearest path to victory in one of boxing's most intriguing matchups.
So all I was saying was, it behooves Boots to have Ortiz fight at his weakness, going backwards from the center of the ring. That's all I was saying. That's not a bad take. That's common effing sense. Now, if your take is Vergil could never win, there's no way he wins. Even if Boots is against the ropes, he doesn't win. Then we shouldn't be excited about the fight. F the fight. The fight is whack. If Ortiz, there's no way he should win. He should never even try. But what I'm saying is the likelihood of him winning goes up the more Boots is against the ropes.
Still, Gary Russell Jr. believes Ennis would be better prepared by the time a fight with Ortiz takes place. He expects Ennis to learn from his recent performances and correct the flaws that have been exposed. While Russell acknowledges Ortiz's punching power makes him dangerous, he ultimately sees Ennis separating himself with a convincing victory.
But I feel like he would be too flat-footed for Boots. He would be too slow of a pace for Boots. Boots, at this point, he's going to go look back at this fight with him and Xander and see where he went wrong. And by the time he fights somebody like Ortiz, he'll fix the problem by then. You know, so Ortiz, yes, he got a puncher's chance. You know, he come in shape, he's obedient, just as Xander was. But Boots, he got the ability to pull away from this guy and beat him in great fashion. You know, that will be another great-ass fight. Hands down.
Gary Russell Jr. expects a matchup between Ennis and Ortiz to come down to skill, rather than movement or ring positioning. He expects both fighters to meet each other head-on, but still gives Ennis a clear edge because of his greater versatility and overall ability. While Russell praises Ortiz's development and punching power, he does not believe Ortiz possesses the complete package that Ennis brings to the ring.
I feel like that would give Boots more of a hassle versus a Vergil Ortiz. Vergil Ortiz, he's going to sit there in the pocket, and it's going to become a battle of who creativity is better and who land the better shots. That's it. Boots not going to have to do a lot of running, a lot of chasing. He's going to be sitting right there in the middle of the ring. And it's going to be going skill for skill. That's how that fight would look. Boots would, honestly, I feel like he would clean Vergil up. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Vergil Ortiz. He's a great fighter. Sound, very sound. And honestly, if he keep going in the path he's going, he'll be a knockout artist. But I don't think he got what Boots got.
Looking more closely at the matchup, Sergio Mora believes the current momentum favors Boots. He argues that Ortiz may benefit from one more outing to rebuild his profile before the two eventually meet. For Mora, that extra fight could help restore the balance heading into one of boxing's biggest potential showdowns.
They're going to want another quick tune-up before they get in the ring, because it's a tune-up, it's another payday, and it's an opportunity to get an upper hand on Boots, because Boots is the one that's white hot. All right, he's the one that people remember from that Zayas victory. It was all over the media, the talk shows, and all that. So Boots has an advantage over Vergil right now. But if Vergil comes back and knocks him, B-, C+ type guy, then you can even out the playing field.
With both camps continuing to exchange bold opinions, the pressure is only growing for Vergil Ortiz Jr. and Jaron Boots Ennis to share the ring. If this fight becomes official, it could deliver one of the most explosive matchups in boxing. But who do you think comes out on top? Vergil by knockout or Boots with his all-around skill? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more boxing updates.